What's up? I'm Vin, and today I want to talk about how I broke into the 1900s in chess. So this is the game that did it. I was playing Edgar Rickenor, and this is the final position here. It broke me into 1901. But now I'm going to talk a little bit about the actual game, and this game was very, very, very chaotic. So if we look here, this started out with a classic Sicilian defense here, and I switched it here. We went to the open, so we exchange. So far everything's standard. And then this is the first move where I'm already looking at what I could have learned. C4 would have been the better move before developing the knight, I guess, to protect this center square here, D5. So this is just ideas for next time, what I could be doing better. But as you can see, I'm just kind of moving quick here, just developing. And the engine right now has me ahead of point. But then I go ahead and I open up the F pawn, which is considered to be a blunder. But I don't know, sometimes I like to just play aggressive and contest the center, even if that means I temporarily go behind, because unless I'm playing the engine, it's just sometimes fun to get the game going. But yeah, I guess if I was playing someone at the grandmaster level or master level, that they would punish that really quickly. So the game just proceeds normally here, but I'm already down 3 points. Not necessarily in material, but positionally I'm in a much worse spot. So we continue here, and notice I'm throwing away material. So I'm going through this a little bit quickly, and let's see. So I attack the rook here, and now this is where my opponent could have punished this position if they had moved their rook to this square on e3. They would have forked my knight and my bishop. So looking at this here, I'm really in bad shape, but this is where things start to turn. I'm eyeing this f7 pawn. That's the classic pawn if you want to, win as white, attacking that, that king pawn. And from here, once again, now I'm down 5. It's not looking pretty. And it gets even worse because my opponent moves their queen out of the way, and I don't know what's going on with me, but I completely missed this, and my opponent takes. So now once again, I should lose here, but then my opponent gives me a bit of a break and they blunder. So they went from being up 7 to quickly being down 5. So I take. And from here, now it's just a matter of playing smart because I'm ahead here. They wind up trading. And this is where I see the opportunity to trade queens. So I take it. And now it's just an endgame where it's 1 rook, 1 pawn against 5 pawns. But as long as I play smart here, and this is where I kind of batten down the hatches, and I'm able to just gobble up all these pawns. My goal here with my opponent's king is to just not let them occupy this square anymore, and I take that space. And now it's definitely game over. I have a 55-point advantage, so unless I really mess up here, I should win and my opponent resigns. So that's the game, and I didn't spend a ton of time breaking this down because it was so chaotic. There wasn't really any super advanced chess theory, which just goes to show that sometimes, 1800, 1900 chess play, you have a bad game and it's chaotic, but then when you have the opportunity to win, you have to seize it. So what did I learn in the 1800s to the 1900s? Some ideas to take away. One of the big ideas I took from Grandmaster Ben Feingold, that he said, if you want to improve your rating, it's like stop making the same bad moves. Really slow down your thinking and really calculate carefully what's going on. So I noticed that with chess masters and grandmasters, that sometimes they'll spend a minute or 2 minutes calculating just one move, and they consider all the different strings. And there'll be games I'm playing where I get to move 15 or 20, and it's a standard game, 10 minutes per side, and I'm getting to move 15 or 20 within the first minute or two, which means that I'm assuming I'm making all the best moves, but I'm definitely not. So I've really been trying to take that advice to heart here, to really slow down my thinking and really actually spend the energy to calculate what's the best move. Now, the next thing that I picked up was king safety, and this is a big one I'm still working on. But I'm really, really, really focusing on making sure my king is in a spot where it can't be attacked. Because if you could attack your opponent's king, even if you're behind on points, but if you could keep attacking your opponent's king, sometimes that just puts them on that continuous defensive. And even when you're down material, you could still force them into a checkmate position. So if you could keep your king safe and your opponent can't ever put you in check, or you could easily block their check, then that will give you an advantage. So now what do I want to work on to get to the 2000s? I need to brush up on my tactics for one. Now there's this one chess bot, Olga, and she has no knowledge of openings when you play her, but her tactics are just absolutely like insane. So you will get an advantage playing Olga if you play her and you know your openings, but you give Olga a chance and her tactics are going to be just so smothering. So getting my tactics to that level is something that I really truly want to work on. And also I just want to keep studying new openings, because by studying new openings, each opening has its own idea that you could translate to any given game. So by studying any particular opening, you pick up on new patterns, and then sometimes those patterns will present themselves even in a game where you're not playing that particular opening. So that's something I want to use to help me get to the 2000. So, I mean, there's just so much stuff to study here, but my next immediate goal is to brush up on my tactics. Also, I'll do the puzzles, and also I want to pick a new opening for me to study. But this is going to wrap up this video. Thank you for watching. And yeah, hopefully I could check back one day with a breaking into the 2000s video. But thanks for sticking around.